asalaamaaleykum mbokk yi fu waaye mënti nekke ñu ngi leen di nuyu di leen dalalaat ci suñu beneen plateforme bi la One for One fii ci N24 TV li nga xam ne moo di seeni programme Issuse bu leen di ñëwal àllarba bu jot li nga xam ne moo di ñeenti waxtu yi ba li nga xam ne moo di juróom-benni waxtu yi ci ngoon tey nag ñu am fi li nga xam ne moo di keneen ku màgg nga xam ngeen ci jamono bi li nekk di daw ci jaww ji ci li nga xam ne moo di suñu biir réew fii ci Gambia kon laataa ñuy xuuse si mbir mi rek du ñu def dara dañ koy bàyyi mu daal di nuyu wanteeg askan bi fii ci N24 TV Honorable ñu ngi lay nuyu.
Thank you so very much for our interview. Comme ka Kenya men dorang nindo ya so akawala nindo ya foni mani kakawala. Wato mbe mol be konton na momo Tony kontongo ani fadang mbe N24 mol konton na ngaso kay konton and also mbe Gambian mol be konton na anen minimal yalon koy mantra Gambia. Bay momo mi yalon ko Gambia la kole sola Gambia la tanyato wole be teto woto mbe konton na mba folale ala baraka bake ndele Bakary ke Badjie natale pour nali kati akota ke banko la kula fendet mi yalon kabe kumma yala bake.
ok baraka bake ñu di ko gërëm ci loolu ba tey rek li nga xam ne moo di moom mooy Honorable Bakary ke Badjie moom nag Foni Bintang karanaay moom moo nekk li nga xam ne moo di seeni député waaye ba tey rek boo leen bàyyi xel mu ngi nekk koo xam ne tamit mu ngi pare pour bu bokk ci li nga xam ne moo di xuus si 2026 presidential election fii ci biir réew mi tey nag li tax ñu indi ko ci biir kër gi ndax xam ngeen jamono bi li nga xam ne loolu moo nekk di daw ci jaww ji mu nekk nag li nga xam ne moo di suñu loi bu bees bi nga xam ne moom moo nekk fi mu nekk nii nekk coow li fii ci biir réew mi ba tey rek boo leen bàyyi xel li mel ni kii démb juróom-ñaari fan ci weerum July di atum 2025 li nga xam ne nag gars yi tase woon neen ci néegi député yi pour waxtaanee mbir mi pour daal di taxawal li nga xam ne moo di suñu loi bu bees bi ndax ba tey rek bu leen fàtte comme ni ma leen ko waxee woon am nañ li nga xam ne moo di président bu bees waaye li nga xam ne moo di loi bu bees nag amagut fii ci biir réew mi looloo waral rek li mel ni ki démb nag mu nekkoon bés bu daqar naa si ci ñoom foofu nekk ci néegi député yi li nga xam ne moo di député yëpp daal di fay tase li nga xam ne moo di ministre bi ñoom ñëpp ñu daal di fay tase pour mun a waxtaane li nga xam ne moo di nu ñoo def rek daal di li nga xam ne moo di jàllale li nga xam ne moo di loi bu bees bi unfortunately nag ñu gis ne daal am na luy ñuul ci sow mi dafa mel ni daal li nga xam ne moo di loi bu bees boobu de nekk na loo xam ne daal takk na li nga xam ne moo di suuf kon nag jamono bi mu nekk loo xam ne moom moo nekk coow li ci biir réew mi ba tey rek boo leen bàyyi xel li mel ni kii juróom fukki député ak ñeent ñooñu lañ am foofu nekk ci biir néegi député yi ku ñoom ñëpp nag ku nekk am na tund bi nga xam ne ñoom ñoo la fa tax a toog ba tey rek ci ñooñu gis ne li nga xam ne moo di fanweeri député ak juróom ñoom ñoo nekk ñi nga xam ne ñoom ñoo sànni li nga xam ne moo ñu karta maanaam ñoom ñoo ekkati seeni loxo wane ne bëgg neen li nga xam ne moo di li nga xam ne moo di loi bu bees bi daal di jàll foofu nekk ci néegi député yi maanaam our constitution waaye ba tey rek ñu gis ne li mel ni ki li nga xam ne moo di ñaar fukk ak benn député nekk neen ñoo xam ne daal ñoom daal nekk neen ñoo xam ne daal dañ ko dàqalu maanaam nanguwuñu ko ñoom daal nekk neen ñoo xam ne daal bokkuñu ci li nga xam ne moo di daal di koy nangu ba tey rek loolu moo waral ñu daal di indi Honorable Bakary ke Badjie moom itam mu daal ñu ci wax tuuti parce que xam ngeen ne tey li nga xam ne moo di nii mu ngi jógee foofu nekk ci néegi député yi moo waral rek mu daal di jaar fii pour ñu mun a am ak moom waxtaan lu dem ci li nga xam ne moo di suñu loi bu bees bi nga xam ne moom la doon gaay yi di defar waaye dafa mel ni daal tàq na suuf ba téere di leen fàttali jamono bii ñuy wax ak yéen 1997 constitution maanaam loi bu former président di Yahya Jammeh moom moo nekk li nga xam ne moom moo nekk di daw jamono bi ci biir réew mi li ko waral nag li mel ni ki démb rek gis nañ ne dàqalu nañ li nga xam ne moo di loi bu bees bi nga xam ne ci gaay yi ci loolu lañ bëggoon a sukkandiku bu fekkee yéen a ngi bàyyi xel draft 2020 constitution tamit nekkoon na fa loi bi nga xam ne moom leen njëkkoon a indi ci li nga xam ne moo di 2020 nag li nga xam ne moo di ci néegi député yi gars yi dàqalu ko nag ba waral nag li nga xam ne moo di 2024 tamit ñu daal di génn ci ak beneen loi bu bees daal di koy indi am loo xam ne nag am na yu nekkoon ci li nga xam ne moo di ci loi bu 2020 bi ñu am lu ñu seppi daal di koy yokku ci li nga xam ne moo di seppi daal di dugal ci li nga xam ne moo di 2024 bi am yuñ ci seppi am yuñ ci yokka loolu lañ def ci li nga xam ne moo di 2024 bi unfortunately li nga xam ne moo di loi book boobu de nekk na loo xam ne jàllut kon dafa mel ni 1997 constitution ba tey jamono bi ci moom lañ nekk Honorable Bakary K Badjie, both opposition and some of the independent candidates rejected the draft.
Correct. Nte mbe molle kono mi yalon ko ndol fana nga constitution o reject le.
Okay.
Womu fennete mi yalon ko amanke fenti mi yalon ko fen kutolem. Anu ku kilimbi je mi yalon ko akumayata. Gambia mbela bankole. Anu fana munem député yati. Député ala doko mu sidula sabaleti. First sidula wolem député wolle kaluwal dada. Ila doku fulanjango wolem perform oversight function wolem kataka ministerial check mini yalan ko ministry government institute ke check ila doku la aning ikata nyame tat sabanjango wolem kata minto wole representation wolem foni bintan karana bete nano yena député bunkono sani foni bintan karana mume ibe mo clean tombo na ito lata minna nako ha nako hani womo ika kapte fay wala pour ay si je foni bintan to yala sani ni kapte fay la min tambita ya fay intele pour nga si itol to yala je bare amanke ko fengo fente ba kala foni bintan nkan kunna miro le ken hani fengo fen ba kala fo ngamol nte mol be bendino la foni bintan because I don't have that capacity pour ka mol foni bintan be bende ke nyininka bare nyato onkol ani modol min yala onko wole wato so pour ka sin ni kacha ni wolle nyanta kacala ko mi yalon ko nata sa inde fana foni bintan ko ngajibe mol min siyata ye min fo ndol kanan katane wolna wala yatinna député a doku nak ate amanke doku timi yalon ko akoliyata bake natara amari ya faham andu aya samba ku wala be dending nying draft constitution 2024 na consultation ba soton tenin na mol min yalon ko NCCE National Council for Civic Education do fana natale ani alikalol ani VDC chairman wol be nata be nata mabe foni bay fet ni foni binta wala kafunyo kam that day ntele fango sita ka fatam fazi ka constitution of fatam fazi molie mune biji ani ila fita munela ani mune mfengoti mi yalon ko lafta asambala nan bare ka binga fatam fazi na mol nata min fonye walen ko ali ni constitution ala pane site la alkana nyin tambindi kato nying danding aliba tambin la aliba fodo la molie munem nying la difference with 1994 constitution nata ala difference ding abe banko sambala nyata woto mbe sonnala by data ala difference ding womu difference le minaton ko amanjabi woto ala fay alkana na kudo wes akunna walati na kunun ntela lodu la nying asoniata bake ka bin nata ndul fana nga constitution of fay wala nyama
Okay, Baraka Bake, Honorable Bakary K Badjie, ngaji ko ite fana you were a part of the people me yalon ko wolle nyin draft constitutional body for one day.
Correct.
Alto le
yeah, dole nga body. Ando nga for president, nko your excellency, nga for minister fana enne, honorable ministers, nga for national assembly members. Nko eko, nkana minge science wole ka dinke basi ka constitutional nyin ka sare. Aka bade ando nata nga bade successfully nga bade le kununde nga bade alama la jangoy sonia
okay because galon ne ko they need at least 40 above so that pour ñing draft constitution 2024 pour ay tambi but unfortunately ye tan sabadin lulu le soto 35 okay both the opposition some of the independent candidate rejected the draft constitution Gambia as a whole still pending on the 1997 constitution ite woje nyaadi ko we are going back to the 1997 constitution luwa bugo me yalo ko na former president wala yakelu anu ngaji ko na former president biri ate anata nang less than 5 years ate anata la luwa bugo bondi fo
wo tonyale ti bare yalon duniya be nyame wo mu fenneti mi yalon ko akuma ata bake what is a constitution munem constitution wati wo fenneti mi yalon ko akuma ata wolem ntol fan nyan lafta kam fan tamande nyamen lafita ka munni mune sambana pour ngam fan guide la pour ay kel luwati mi yalon ko aben tol kantala aben na niol tankala aben na fengol tankala se tawano kayro kono wolem constitution oti sani ku kilim mi yalon ko duniya kono akumayata ni momo sita isalon luwa ikamin dada bi amanke ibada da ka ite fangol mimbe president yala amanke ibada da ka député le amanke ibada da ka ministre le ibe luwa da kan comme ite president o bi sama ibe bolaje ite kala president ite député o bi ibije sama ibe bolaje ite kala député o de anu sidin fana mose ku keno andu ite nyinen kala sani mbela dem fero amin nyinyata je wolen ka nyo nyinen ka la lafta nga ke nyame wolen consultation ti wolen constitution danda bina abukana just like that from the sky wala you ya impose molkan ni be constitution da dala ini molle ka sika kacha comme family na luwa la nyanta ke la nyaadi la nyanta munni munne nyande landi la ngake luwati comme like family handal be family kono ita fo lan telem fati adiyata nyame ba tamal la wonya hani ini fo aliyesi aliye kacha nin kacha keta nyomoyo kake ba nin kacha manke nyomoyo bukake nin constitution one of the main thing ala akta min na wolen kachati wolen consultation ti wolen gambianol nyanta lonna munne be constitution o kono gambianol nyanta lonna ñinu lafta keetul mara ñaadina gambianol ñanta lonna munni mune bije 1994 constitution mi yalon ko ate 2024 constitution wala mune be 2024 constitution mi yalon ko amanta 1994 constitution wo be ñanta sen yala gambia 1997 constitution wo be ñanta sen yala gambianol mo fenneti mi yalon ko ko mayata ni loi be dadana parce que ite loi dadano la pour kamol trap ka je ko ñin loi momo boyta loi kan rek nge mutange song ayata mol mal loi long because to babel ko ignorance of the law is not an excuse woto mon la longo min loi sifa min kanantul mara mu feneti mi yalongo is key in constitutional drafting and it coming up with the constitution now constitution ni ba base la on the need of the hour mun yatina al salata la science what are the burning issues mi yalongo solata constitution fo be fo moli ya faham mol se d'accord no wala ite d'accord no la bare fo ali ya senyandima munni munne be kering sani intela miroto na human na hadama di ya miroto most of the things me ya lonko me batin na la mol nga sola constitution for instance like the appointment of the IEC chairman by the president wo mu fenete me ya lonko IEC chairman amanyana appoint la by the president you understand it should be through parliament or through any other means because me ye febo ke nge appoint nge tam nga palaso dil ite under normal circumstance ite fanan ite be beti yalante fele ninte nata andung ite le marta election la ba ite nge ke IEC chairman odi so ninte nata election pour ite etil ninte la mafang la obe kol yalal adama di yalla ke bon ni nata comme chief justice the judiciary should be totally independent but the chief justice is always appointed president wala ka atombo ka ke nyaton koti sai what chief justice ila fita way lu atamande ay tiling mul tema woka ke fenneti mi yalan ko aka kolya bake like members of the National Assembly like the speaker deputy speaker and other nominated members wo be president wala ke tombo wo mu fenneti mi yalan ko nim president wo tombo naturally it will be better yala president ko fele and we be lola ka president wala ko defend and speaker ye role jam asol the speaker's ruling is final in all nim speaker I mean for deputy bunko wadam mokata wala katama automatic na I mean for rek na ya rule dame mobuka bondi noje that is the power vested in this speaker of the National Assembly so am fenete mi yalon ko akumayata bakel sani natra ibe constitution samba iba fala moliyeko sani ni constitution okono speaker will not be appointed by the president and the members of the parliament that are nominated will not be speakers or deputy speakers they can hold other positions to me okay now ni ajibe the Chief Justice, for instance, the Chief Justice will not be appointed by the President so that the judiciary sector will become independent. Because the independence of the judiciary is crucial. Nin government tata ay boy aboita mokan, just like that. Then judiciary bina ka umari ka defend, amari sa samba court, then judiciary sena ka defend, the judge sena ay tonya sabatindi. President ka Chief Justice tomo. Sa Chief Justice betili nola, President wala kola nyadi abe koli yala. Omu feneti mi yalanka difficult. The other issue in the constitution mi yalanko, the chiefs of the country, all the chiefs, they are appointed by the president. Ninga jibe nsa afono is normal, but it's not normal in the reality. Amanke fenti mi yalanka nyanta kela. Min nyanta kela wole karte ye fay mol min ntol man na fi ite ke nyaton koti. Ntol we must want you before ite you rule us. sani chief ni lafta ke chief ti fo carte faya ha ngaje ko ite into lafta ite la ke into la chief ti bara député din council because ide be mol nyaton kala bara nim president go appoint aka minke wolem it causes so many things isa aje chief din min diata abakela min diata chief abakela because mol ni bunyala mi yalon ko ibe constituency kono because wol mate keje anu fengo fe asa keno asa fo na appointment man tawali bul bara nata molle ka carte fa ite ibe mol bunyala ibe mol nafalo fenete mi yalon ko kumata and those are the things mi yalon ko the draft constitution na expect as a sotono bara amawol be soto.
So sir, ite mune mo ila daliloti fo ina taka this 2024 draft constitution or reject because
well then daliloti
you were part of
ngani dalilol mi fo because like for instance nata draft constitution or I has spelled out what is the difference between the draft constitution and 2024. Most of the people are talking about the term limit, but they don't even actually know the term limit is there. But which term limit? Well, president wani ni loi de la loi buka mukoma aka commencer wala aita sani president wani another 2 terms le sotala well he is going to go up to 20 years ya ni moli carte fire now loi ni because abuka mukoma sani sante ni term limit keje it does not benefit because loi ni buka mukoma. Secondly, model ko lafta nga pass through the committee stage so that now after the committee stage inka amendment okay but amendment okay no because ninta the committee stage if you go to any clause any clause is is just majority vote, you understand? It's not percentage. Even one vote NPP al dangola lafta minna wala kake so alte falling wa atul lafta minna ate kenola. You understand? So that is a problem. Wala nantul man lafi ay tambi the second reading na wala nga bade kunung at that time.
Oh, okay. Okay, Nyoko Digandor, but and then the other question I have for you is that why no proper procedure were made for the first time? Because I think if they made a proper procedure about this draft constitution, probably it will pass.
Yes. Me atina ima okay because it will be laughing ka jeko ye danko ya sammanang. Ya sammanang ay ke danko it will left minna. Because Gambia consolata constitution sani danko ngake haphazardly ndiata ntuli nyame ngake wala nga samba ituli. You understand? Ya kele coming adiata ituli nyame rek pour ka samba nan danko.
So do you think they sensitize the public about this 2024 draft constitution?
Imam public sensitize andum public fanang mambu akku kalama bake andum fanang mo jamal le nyanta nyinin kala nyin constitution. Wala musol nin dinni wol country dawoda banko kan mol be nyanta lon na mune be nyin constitution ko ka loi mu fenete mi yalon ignorance of the law is not an issue ni ma loi long iboyta kan ka fone ne ite tawtale yo wo manke excuse ita fono la nte ma loi long woto loi mi nyanta mol mabala mol nyanta lon na woka ke fente mi yalon ka kumata ni mol ma loi long rek aka kele ko ye traple ni dunta je ye silem so wo mu fenete mi yalon ka danja wasta so hada mani wol fengo fe min nyanta hada mani wol nyanta sonna minna wallahi man nyana sonna minna nyanta lon na ni along aseniata then it also be fon tolbe sonnala fonte sonnala baba ni tolma along then ibe trap kan ni dunta je then isafo luwali ay mutale wo mu fenete mi yalon ka danja wasko ko no bake so we don't want a situation where a Gambian will be sida isafo on tolma luwalong luway mol trap le luwali mol mutale goto mile to yajibe din Gambia din jalle bije din merengol wolle be faari mile 2 and itata ye mo ko itaraje mo fi ngol damma and na mo fi ngol all over the world ye sobanje bare na ta mile 2 hani tubabu killing itaje naje na mol even
that they don't know the law wala sabu bije or
some of them are trapped by the law because they don't know the law to that extent. 1 2 because the law sometimes is very petty and the law is merciless towards the poor, you understand. The law understands the rich, rich understanding, but the law is not compromising when it comes to the poor. Because there are other fines me along with BJ. Model BJ me along 5,000 oda malibe landeka mile 2. Just fine of 5,000. If you can pay them today, they are out. You understand? Model BJ me along is less than 5,000 sir. Wole mutaje. So lual fo moli loi kalamuta. Ni moli along ko ni lualete rek. Utumolem isa long ibe tama na nyame pour isi itul finance fantanka.
Okay, Baraka Bake, Honorable Bakary K. Badjie, Foni Bintang Karanai, Deputy NP. Then the other question we have is how will the 2024 draft constitution affect the Gambia?
How will the 2024 draft constitution affect the Gambia? In many ways, it is going to affect the Gambia. One, Gambia mol Badjie can call so lot of term limit la science. We need term limit. Yeah. So in 2024 past, well, we have given space for the president to go for another 10 years.
Another 20 years.
You understand?
20 years.
20 years. What alone is a retardment for the Gambian people. Secondly, the appointment of Sani, Fentije mi yalon kon sa fono afalintale.
But now, I mean, alien reject that this new constitution, well, 2024 draft constitution, alia reject the reason is that one, term limit bijele. But now if for all draft a pastale, then that means the president assassino koteke for another 10 years natara ganyeta. But now alien reject and the 1997 constitution. Is there any term limit?
There is no term limit in 1997.
Then that means still now then the president can continue unless and until
by signing something because money as a continental and ninga pass for be continental. You understand? Ninga pass be continental. But you know the situation is until begin na mulle and na mulla
decision. Yalo nalia pass. At least molbe how manakala ko he molbe jikila le ko baby nim president manji this 2026 probably in the next 10 years I mean abejilale because nobody knows. Yeah, nobody knows. I mean, but natara alman nying fay alman this new 2024 draft constitution aliye wo badele, so that means the president still can continue being a president for many years.
You know, Hannah Atranga Nimpas. As a canon in data for now winter, a winter kotake. I deputy Ganyan as a phone proposed amendment for the term limit. We basically you understand? As a proposed amendment or something, a term limit, I can go further for another 15 to 20 to 30 years again. Not a Ganyeta. You understand? So, as you are falling no. As I fall in no.
Natara Ganyeta, let's say for example, na Ganyeta this 2026. Yes. Na lafta fana as if ni lua bugo falling no.
As I fall in no. Ha. I mean the no biji as I fall in no. Na le deputy jama sort of parliament. So we find that me yalongo is critical.
So I mean it's critical.
It's useless.
I mean, I'm
nafaso.
Because if you want, you can change it at any time.
Sometimes this is the situation. And mulka tama nini kuja malela me yalongo ibuka fenyo na kungo fango understand. Most of the time, ni pastor fango nsa fono abedana 2 times. That is 20 years.
Yeah.
But na 2 times kusuti ata asa falling no. I keep open for another 2 times or whatever it is. You understand? So when we find it me yalongo as a kenole. But
then do you think it's necessary for kanying luabugo fali? Because if you look at the 2020 draft constitution,
yes,
$116 million.
So
this one also the same thing.
The same thing. Mbalanta kata consultation do attend regarding this constitution. Because most of the time you go to a workshop just for the sake of going.
Yeah.
And we are not thinking about the Gambian people. Now, I don't know. Sometimes it's hectic. Now, there are a proposal me alonko, nin lafita, not a person lafita for instance, about the term limit. Munatina at the 1997 constitution, Munatina at amendla, term limit keje. Munatina at amendla ka term limit.
Yeah, because to me, this 1997 constitution is just that kudole bijeme yalonko inyanta wole bundila dedo.
Very good.
Period. I mean, then we continue with that one. Than spending this huge amount of money. I mean, this $116 million
and you know how much is spent on this.
On this one, I mean, mol be fakal lopita nol to boro mantareje. I mean, karango. Oh my goodness.
It's sad because what ya lonne ko ninga nin constitution sambana minister nin député la ni modol be kodo do mola konole. Sani nga sambana just for the sake of honey, most of the people don't care about that. That's the situation and that's the reality. So ni be fengo fen sama, you must rationalize it. Now the 1994 constitution amendment now again amendment will never be over. And nous avons coup killing Gambia nyanta min jibela. Nata amendment manke pour que constitution kuto sambana. Mi yalonko you are going to have the numbers that is required. Ni opposition also it a ruling government sort la. Ni a ruling government sort is the opposition sort la. Now
okay, so for this 2020 draft constitution, is it that Alman Lafi pour aller wo Murundi back?
Handing Asambana. NPP ta support and the name of support fana is going to die natural death.
Are you sure the NPP will not support that one?
Not name Asambana now. For instance, not I support them, not name Asambana. It's already drafted and completed. Consultation are done. So it will left it at the point. Not name Asambana. So I support them.
Because we need the 2020 draft constitution.
Then we go and check our people. Whatever our people say, we go by that. And already that have gone far. So Nata NPP ba support them. So Nata ya support the ten ba sambana. Because it only same most of the poker introduced.
Okay.
Ka sambana nkota. So Nata it will left it all. Abebulle munat na ma sambana. So it means that Hanna Nata it has support. And also there are tricks me along can play. They can bring something. NPP can bring something. Government can bring something. At the end of the day, they refuse to support it. It's a balance it has support. Just like the diaspora.
Yeah, just like they play a game.
Yes, just that, like even today, member for Kiang West moved the proposal for us to check clause 14 on the diaspora voting.
Yeah,
but they rejected it again.
Encore?
Yes. So these are the real situations. Me alonko, it is a friend someone and no. Pour que le député le dundi. Ni a someone en parlement because president hotel Africa blame money at the Africa. But ala député will say what you blame money ta so that president will say it will cover the election or see that. That's politics.
Well, politics is very dirty, huh?
Yes, to a certain extent, depending on the players of the politics. James. Yeah. But the decent people for the nyanta do na politics. Mon me yalongo is seniata. Yes. Fengo min Badjie will determine how the fields go. If dirty people are in politics, then politics become dirty. If clean people are in politics, then politics become clean. But it will be dangerous. Abe dangerous la back if only more kendol be konganda bundi politiko kono nga mo kungo damma tuje. What then we are finished. You don't surrender in life. You fight to the last dot. So nite ko ntolta tano la kota ke we surrender. Then wole min diata it will be okela. Wom fenete mi yanoko ama amanya na kela andum fana nyanta do la family. Like we should not surrender because nada data na beti ata na bankole na man beti na bankole on fenete mi yalonko all of us should guide that we should be our principle mi yalonko nyanta dola ka kenne.
Okay. Why does the current government stand for the draft instead standing with its citizen of the 2020 draft constitution? Because most of the time, the 2020 draft constitution, some people were blaming UDP MPs for this 2020 draft constitution. So, after that, this 2024, that one is NPP majority in the parliament. So, so that means now what people are going to say is that it will find a feeling in 2024 draft constitution rejected. And obviously, NPP in Cole, they wanted the draft constitution to pass, and some of the independent candidates. But the other political parties, so
sometimes it has to be because we are the representative of our people. Mbedie député bunko na multo yalla, and fonga muna mulbunya. I, as an individual, because of namule which later I capte find jiko kam. Sani namul bi ye min fontuli into nyanda chatama na ni wala. Ni wonte mga jamfale ke.
So before coming for this 2024 draft constitution, you sit with your people
yes,
and discuss with them.
Even the opposition. But like representation manke ntega mimira. Nte damma la miro anin na koma ko la miro Foni Bintang kabana molle Badjie mi yalon ko keba yatantete molle Badjie mi yalon ko londo sotontete molle Badjie mi yalon ko kodo sotontete molle Badjie mi yalon ko experience sotontete sani nte la miro nte damma kun kilil la miro wote beti anola ay tambi molbe la miro ne wala tinna imagine CFO BJ, Council BJ, VDC Chairman BJ, and Alkalol Fanam BJ, Women Leaders Fanam BJ, and Youth Representative BJ. Foni Brefet ni Foni Bintang told the best seat and yoka. Then I was going through the constitution. Ka explain it all the constitution or I mean for na explain here in the NCC National Council for Civic Education. And what all media along could all be the whole mantra and tell a party to but be denta Foni Bintang and be denta Foni Brefet la until the denta Gambia la. So I be kumaya back a ye mulla opinion more from both sides. But it will be more killing teje media along akungani support. To be honest with you. More killing teje media along akung draft constitution support. So wale ati na ntela silo nying aswani ata bake. Wale ngata na moli ya mimfo nga waitandi. Andu nga o tag fana wulindi. But wale nyanta kela dipite bela lodu lati nak. Dipite mi yalon ko ibe Gambia jang. Ila lodu la nyanta kela ila moli la lodu lati. Because ni ma woke rek aka munta ko ila moli ye londi minna ye wale ye jamfale wala ibota noto wala ye kika minke ite mawna wala ke ndol mu kilaria te kilaria molleti wala nata le pour ka message o nyinka sindi molla na molye min fontolle nata ka wonsi.
Okay, that's very good, and it's very important for people to know what is going on, because nyentemengo diamo siatale banko bitaka nyameng man lua kuto soto tonya. We are in our third republic in the country, but we have only two constitutions. Well, the two formers though, because first president and then the second president. If you look at it, still we are going with the 1997 constitution. And I think we're going to continue with this 1997 constitution. Yeah,
we will only have the third republic when the constitution passes. So as of now, we are in the second republic. But the issue is, every government minata you need a constitution. The constitution that I know, kajeko.
Ya mirafana ita sambala referendum. Oh?
No, it atave fatale. Ninga abade damen. Ninga abade damen die jam fata bakel. Anu fana ko kilin semin fue. Nata mbu wuchila ngaluwa da. Ngaluwa da because we are not trying to please Bakary. Ngaluwa da because we are not trying to please NPP. Ngaluwa da because we are not trying to please UDP. Ngaluwa da because we are not trying to please APRC. Ngaluwa da because banko mul bere sondala. Ngajeko ni lua is standard to what we want. Ngajeko hanatra mansa jamale nata. We will stand by this lua. Because lua mankeko mo moni nata inila lua lem. Abuka kewonyama. Bare dunia fana ko litinya wolem dunia fana ka falin. Yo ninga lua da mi yalonko is up to the standard that is required of the society. Mi yalonko mulbe la fita ala tem. Wala 90% of because mulbe te la finwa. 90% of the people la fita ala. Wolem ko 90% of the people will fan jejele ya jele ko ni lo adam wala se banko sambano ya je ko nin to lefta pour ye mama mo laten pour ngam fam maraten wo mu fenete mi yalla ko it will go down the history line so much so that any government min nata you can do small amendment demanding mal is like the drug laws you can amend on those things you understand migration laws and whatever.
And
yes, right, and other things. You can amend those small things. But it's saying that just because we want to feel the present, not thinking about the future, not thinking about the past, not thinking about the revolving of the generation, not thinking about how the population is going to increase, you understand? Not thinking about the education and its expansion and that the education, people will be uplifted in terms of education. Not thinking about the technology and other related things. You understand? And but I want to favor someone. We will continue like this forever.
You know, most of them are just there to please the person who brought them there.
Honestly speaking. And also, if we are to please people, then we are not moving as a nation. And even your political party.
Yeah, if we continue to please people, then there will be no development in this country.
There will be no if we continue to please political parties, if we continue to please individuals, if you continue to please few guys, then we will not progress. Any constitution minata, we have to sit frankly in a tonya fonyoe. Ngajeko ntol bele tamu nyimbankodi. Ngajibe lafta minna man lafi minna. Nga recommend nga fontol la miro nga keteng nga fansa baku. But ninte bi mabete luato mi yalonko namol man lafala. At the end of the day, it gets my people to miles 2, miles 7. Then that is a disgrace for me as a member of the National Assembly. woto omo fe wala ngal luwa da mi yalon ko ate abe only the president empower ka je ko will be appointing chiefs ka je ko will be appointing IEC chairman, auditor general and other people. When tenga lon ko nim president will appoint, they will only be serving the president and the interests of the president. Then it becomes a challenge for me to actually support those kind of things. And we should stand by the reality and nungajeko. Hanata until the time of president, but that support no na kusi faka.
Okay, Baraka Bake, last but not the least, regarding to this IEC, the former IEC chairman, retired, and then now we need a new IEC chairman, but still near Jube, still now we don't have an IEC chairman, and then election is just at the corner. Well,
it's good for us to have the IEC chairman, and also it is not that we are short of intellectuals. Among Gambia, no man qualified individual Lesotho, but in Motata for 6 months, our position only is vacant.
It's vacant, yeah.
What is sad for any nation because Mzajeko. Nga modo fana appoint me yalonko ate fana mba uplift lale wo mu feneti me yalonko abi beti hala banko and the other thing is we are still looking at so many things, like we are just from the National Assembly today, which is very, very critical today. And nomination for the president, raised to 1 million. Nomination for the president, which was 10,000. Sign today. Raised to 1 million.
$1 million.
$1 million.
So that means you need to pay 1 million.
Yes, inshallah, I'll have the money and I'll pay. Hey! I will have the money and I'll pay. You understand?
Because small me yalonko will be looking for this presidential.
I bet you but also from 10,000 to 1 million nomination for president, which is very, very expensive. You understand? Now, what is the rationality behind it? It's very, very dangerous. Secondly, if you want to become a member of the National Assembly, you have to pay 150,000. 150,000 for nomination if you want to become a member of the National Assembly. And also,
after paying that 1 million.
No.
It's different.
No, for me, if I pay 1 million, I become president. I do not need to come back to pay for this one.
Okay, those who want to be
members of the National Assembly,
they have to pay 150,000
for nomination.
Wow.
You understand?
Okay.
Secondly,
and it was how much before?
It was 5,000. My sister. It was 5,000.
From
5,000 to 150,000. To retard Gambians from contesting. To retard Gambians from exercising their democratic right. Now that is the kind of nation that you
pay that $150,000 is after you lose.
That's the end of it.
Wow.
You understand? And now, if you want to become a councillor, then you have to pay 10,000 for nomination. For instance, if you want to become a mayor, for instance, that's 100,000. And these were 5,000 things that we are talking about.
What about chairman?
Chairman is 100,000. If you want to become the chairman or the mayor, it's 100,000. Now,
these people have money.
Yes, there will be argument over this issue. But let me tell you one thing, Miyalonko is concrete. Do not make laws because you are in power. Do not make laws because you want to sabotage you. Do not make laws because you want to retard others. Maybe the entire nation may go against it, but it's not a problem. From 10,000 to 1 million. From 10,000 to 1 million. From 5,000 to 150,000. It's a concern. And should be a concern to every Gambian. And whether Gambians support my this opinion or not, I stand by it, to be honest with you. That is too much. A theater back. Because we should not retard it. Because some of the people that contest as independent to become members of the National Assembly are more efficient, are more competent than some of them that come to political parties. And now if you want to encourage that young boy, if you want to encourage that young woman that want to contest to become a member of the National Assembly, you peg this high. How will they become members of the National Assembly? Now you are trying to maintain those that are there in position. That is the kind of
because those people, they already have
the money.
50,000.
50,000.
They can pay for it.
And they can manage for it, and they can go and take a loan, and they can pay it. You understand? So now we will not have the competent people to represent us. And even if some of the people may be very poor, but they may have the ideas, and they may have sincerity, and they may have honesty in them. Sani, even because you are in power, but tomorrow you can also go out of office and you may become bankrupt tomorrow, and you may want to contest as a member of National Assembly. And at a certain extent, you will not be able to afford 150,000. What goes around comes around. Such are the laws of the nature. Walem duniati. Walatina nimbe luwa dadala dal. Nga hachinotu nka luwa min dada. Mufende timi yalo kumata. Gambia momo ba dokula is not about
maybe today you can afford it, but nobody knows about tomorrow.
Which is very important for me. Ntela miro walati.
Abaraka Bake, Honorable Bakary Badjie Foni Bintang MP ñoo ko déggandoor mbokk yi kon duñu def dara dañ koy bàyyi mu daal di tàggatoog askan bi ba li nga xam ne moo di beneen yoon kon ñu bàyyi ko lan la muy tàggatoog askan bi ak lan la moo advice li nga xam ne moo di youth si.
Abaraka Bake N24 suka mbafal ali ala baraka kontanta. Gambia mun na bankol te nga dada fangole nimma dada fangole ndata dola jama nindi am tan parete ka fonye ko mol ni lafta kete Bakary ke mako no la nyaadi ngam min fo wala ali tonya fo Gambia no li nin Gambia kanatante nin Gambia tonya long te kanatane nin Gambia be tonya je te kanatane ngam fam mako ngam fandema because BBB moyna IT satol nin katodida youth soul I miracle. That is the needs of the youth. Now you suffer for another 5 years without employment. You suffer for another 5 years with inflation. Price is inflated. You suffer for another 5 years with high crime rate. You go and well for women and guardian and said, "Well, musol damala suloti bang." Sani women will suffer and will work guardian of Arabuka betia 1 year abating ya bali edunje boholote function. Now it only can take detail for so and now they have to suffer for another 5 years. Akekele ko musola solo mu daga guardian no damalete. Gambia no fonga wuli woto ngalonko momo Gambia le japte amanke na 5,000 on ngamin soto. Thank you so very much. Abaraka nyina na yama oti. Ngamin soto ka di Gambia no la.
Abaraka Bake.
Thank you.
Abaraka Bake, Honorable Bakary Badjie Foni Bintang NP being a wole soto na N24 issue program la me yalonka kanale jang alarbolo talan nani fo talan woro kon li lañu waxtu bi mayon ñu daldi tagoto gene ba benen yoon jërë ngeen jëf.